Today is Tuesday, September 29, 2015, and I'm sitting here with Samuel Holloway.
Yes.
And I'm Walter D. Hampton II, and we're here to discuss his two books. We did a video before of his first book, Eyes Without a Face. He has a second book now called How It All Happened. Give us a little background about these books, what they're about.
Eyes Without a Face is my first book. Yes. It's basically talking about bullying, child abuse, domestic violence, rejection, family abuse,
Child molestation.
child molestation.
So in this book, how old were you when you started being abused sexually?
I was 8 years old.
8 years of age. And the first person to abuse you sexually in this book that you wrote was
My mother's boyfriend.
your mother's boyfriend who lived with you.
Yes.
Okay, at 8 years of age.
Yes.
All right, so from 8 years of age to how old were you when all the abuse ended with all the different individuals?
19.
19, so a whole decade of your life, more than a decade, 11 years, you were sexually abused by multiple men. Was that individual just the only one boyfriend that your mother's boyfriend was sexually abused, or were there others?
No, he was the only one.
He was the only one. The rest of them were just friends or young men from the neighborhood that you grew up in.
No. My mother's boyfriend was first. My two cousins were second.
Family members, okay.
Second cousins.
Second cousins, okay.
And then
That's all in the first book.
yes.
All right. So, because we did a video about this, it's very, very popular. You can still see the video on my YouTube channel. It's Eyes Without a Face. In that first book, you describe your relationship with your mother. In the second book, you go into a little bit more detail about your mom.
Yeah, I did that. I more so went into detail in the second book about my mom because the first book, everybody has their own perception.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people perceive my mother as blind, hateful, spiteful, just a lot of negative comments came. And at the end of the day, it's still my mother,
Of course.
And I think that we still went by that thing of don't ask, don't tell, as far as what goes on in my household stays in my household.
Well, I have a question. So, at 8 years of age, your mother's boyfriend began to molest you. About what year was that? Like 88?
Like 88,
88,
89.
1988, 1989. And there was, I don't know, I can't remember which book was it. You told your mother and she beat you.
First book,
In
yes.
the first book. So, in the second book, because I know I read the whole book with you, but you go a little bit more deeper about your relationship with your mother. Has your relationship with your mother, has it gotten better?
No, we don't talk.
Still don't talk. Do you ever blame her for any of this?
At first I did, but then as I thought more and as I wrote more, I don't. Because she was a woman that just was naive, that just didn't know. She didn't see the signs.
Mm-hmm.
And when she did see the signs, it was too late. And like I said, she was either embarrassed, hurt, probably thinking about her own past. Something had to happen to her where she was probably molested. So she, hid those feelings.
Okay, so she hid it. She didn't want to accept the reality.
Exactly.
But one thing that concerns me about both these books, your mother pretty much allowed you to be molested by multiple. She was that naive, word that you use, to not know her son was being sexually molested by multiple men.
And I believe that she knew. I
Okay.
believe that she knew to a certain degree, probably didn't know how much it was going, like as far as how deep it got.
Mhm.
But as a mother, any mother would know their child's patterns, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And she saw some things that, being a parent, she should have spoke upon then.
Well, answer this question. When all this sexual abuse was taking place, where was your mother? Was she working?
wasn't
Did
at
she have a
home.
job?
She had a job.
She had a job. So she was
but
at work.
Most of the time, yeah. I would, as a child, you really don't know. But looking back, I really don't know. I can't say that, she was at work most of the time because my mother did have two jobs.
Okay.
But I don't know when those time frames ended. To me, as a child, I always looked at my mom as out with me.
Okay. So when you were being sexually molested or sexually abused by these sexual predators, which they are sexual predators, when did this happen? During the evening, in the afternoon, after school, weekends?
Most of the time, after school and in the evenings.
Okay. So were any of these guys who sexually molested you, did they go to your school?
No,
They're all much older.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only 2 of them were 3 years older than me. The rest of them are 5 and 6 years older than me. They're all the same age as my brother. My brother is 6 years older than me also.
Okay. So you were, let's say, you said you were 8 years of age with your mother's boyfriend.
And I was 10 years old with my 2 cousins.
10 years old with your
And I
cousins.
started at 11 with those 7 men.
Okay. 7.
7.
So altogether, how many?
10.
Total 10.
10.
What would you say to a young mother today who has a young kid that she might think something's going on? What would be the signs that?
I would say, like, most of the time, it's a boy that's standoffish, acts out, always fighting, always angry, bitter.
Is that how you were?
Yeah, that's exactly how it was. And, it's like you're crying out for help, but you don't know who to cry to, because at that point in time, you probably feel like you don't have any support.
Okay, so did you ever tell any adult about the sexual molestation that was taking place in your life?
No.
No school teachers, no.
Except for my mother's boyfriend.
Okay, so after that experience that took place between your mother's boyfriend, you told the teacher, and the teacher called your mom in.
And after my mom beat me and told me what goes on in our household stays in our household.
So you decided
I never told
you never told anyone. What about you? Did you have a grandmother, uncles, aunts?
Yeah, all that.
And you never
Still do nothing. What goes on in my household stays in my household.
You left it. Okay, I'm curious because I don't know if you would discuss this, but did you enjoy any of the sexual contact you had with these men?
After a while, yes.
Okay. So do you think that's the reason why you never told anyone?
I think as far as an adult, yes. But like friends, my friends know. My close friends. But at that age, we didn't consider that as being molested. We looked at that as I'm a gay dude that's having sex with hood niggas and basically, turning people out.
So you thought they were gay also?
DL.
DL.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew I wasn't the only male that they was messing with.
Okay, so looking back on it as an adult now, do you still think they were DL or was it gay? What was?
I still think they're DL.
The DL. So are bisexual?
I struggle with that. I think they're DL.
Okay, so
I don't think
but the term DL for me means that they just down low in the closet gay men. So you're saying these guys
well
were
then, yeah, they're bisexual.
Oh, they're bisexual. Okay, so they're like men and women.
Yeah.
Because some of these guys now have children.
Mostly all of them have children.
Most all of them have children. Some of them are in prison.
Yeah. And 2 of them are deceased.
2 of them are deceased. This is just mind-boggling to me. No uncles, no aunts, no cousins, but you sold some friends. All right, so at 14, 15 years of age, you were discussing with your friends that you were having sex with the neighborhood kid. What did you call them? They were teenagers?
No, I call these just the dudes from the neighborhood that was like drug dealers,
Okay.
gangbangers, killers,
And none of your friends thought this was strange for a 15-year-old kid to be having sex with the gay sex. Were your friends gay?
No.
They were straight?
Well, I have gay friends and female friends.
That
yeah,
were your high school, same age?
Yeah.
Okay.
So all of us are basically having sex with either some of these men or their friends.
So you all were sharing some of the same men?
Me and one girl were sharing the same men.
Yes. You were all comfortable with this?
Very much comfortable, and I wrote about it in the second book.
Okay, so she knew that he was bisexual or gay.
Yes.
She had no problem with it.
No.
All right. Were you guys using condoms or anything back then?
No, I wasn't. I can't say what they were using, but as far as me, no, I didn't even know what the hell
So
was.
all the sexual contact you had in that 19-year,
Was all raw.
All raw sex. No one used a condom.
No.
Did you even know about condoms at that
No,
point?
I didn't know about a condom until I would say my junior year in high school.
Okay, so junior year in high school, the first time you knew what a condom was.
So I heard about it when I was 13,
Okay.
when I got burnt by a girl, but as far as me physically having somebody put a condom on or saying let's use a condom, no.
So let's go back to at 13 years of age, you had sex with a young lady.
Yes.
And what happened? You had birth. She
Right.
gave you a sexual transmitted
Gonorrhea.
gonorrhea. And what did your mother say about this?
My mother didn't know.
How did you resolve? How could a 13-year-old kid resolve with your doctor and get gonorrhea resolved? What happened?
I wrote about this too. Actually, the girls who I had sex with, her cousins, took me to the health department and said that they were my sisters.
Ah, so they said that they were old enough to
Yeah.
be.
They're my brother's age also.
Okay. And the health department never asked any questions, just gave you a prescription and said, go about your business.
A long Q-tip down the head of my penis. And that gave me some pills.
And all this took place in Gary, Indiana. Now, I'm from Gary, born and raised, born in 1970. Gary, were you born?
78.
So you were born in 1978. So you're 8 years younger than me. I'm 45. How old are you today?
36.
All right, so you guys are comfortable. The kids are the neighborhood kids. Well, I guess maybe I grew up in a different era. I could imagine at 15 years of age discussing sexual contact with my friends, and nobody goes to an adult and say anything.
I think we grew up in the projects, and you probably grew up in a rural area, you
I
know.
grew up in Gary, Indiana.
Miller Park, right?
No, I grew up
No.
in the east side of town in Tennessee Street. It was
Okay,
like
well, I grew up
a
on the east side,
project.
too.
Okay, I was near
I grew up on the
Greenwich
21st.
High School.
I grew up on 21st in Virginia.
Okay, I was in Tennessee and 7th in Tennessee. So okay, so I just find it odd that all the sexual. Where was the sex taking place at?
Different people's houses.
In your own home?
Yeah. My mother's house, my father's house, outside, in cars, in abandoned houses.
The abandoned houses. Yeah. And do you have any contact with any of these men today?
Only 2, and they're both in jail.
Is it a friendly contact or you guys
It
friends?
started off as friendly because last year I was talking to Maurice Moody, which is the monk in the book, and we were talking last year as I was editing how it all happened. And he was, feeding me with, well, did you remember how we did this? And remember we had sex out here? And it was like God was shell shocked because I didn't remember recalling those episodes until he fed me that knowledge.
Gotcha. So he was excited about.
Oh yeah, he was very excited. He was turned on still. And his whole thing was when he got out, he was still gonna hook up. He was gonna come to Atlanta and all this stuff.
All right, so one of your guys who's in prison contacted you.
Yes, Maurice.
Monk. Okay. Yeah. How old is he? You think?
Monk. Yeah, I'm 37, 36. So he would be 39, 40.
All right. So he contacted you from prison. He's serving a life sentence. Am I correct?
No,
Okay.
he posted on Facebook that he was serving a life sentence, but he's actually being released in like a year or 2.
Okay. He contacted you. You guys began talking, having conversations about what took place sexually between he and you.
Yes.
And he wanted you to send him some money.
Yes.
Okay. But in the course of you guys' relationship, when you were a teenager, financially, did he will take care of you?
They all are.
They all were. So they would give you money for sex, such as shoes, Nikes, maybe clothes.
I wouldn't say Nikes. I don't even think Nikes was in, for us. I was more so like K-Swiss, Adidas, things like
So
that. I never got clothes. I got, either shoes or money.
They would give you shoes or money. Did you ask for this, or they would just give you gifts?
It was gifts.
Do you think these guys loved you?
I say Coop did.
Okay, so they were, but you would say that you think that they're bisexual,
Yes. But I love them.
that you love them.
Yes. You know how we be in our own worlds. This is my boyfriend. We have our own relationships in our own minds.
I got you.
And I believe that I had a relationship with every last one of them.
So you have, in your mind, as a teenager, having sexual relations, you were in love with these guys.
Yes.
Okay. And they would take care of you financially.
Yes.
And they would come. So, what were the relationships like? Did you all? It was just a sexual relationship. Did you all go out in public together, or was it?
Everything was basically sexual. I never really hung with any of them publicly like that, other than riding around somewhere to go have sex.
Okay, so they had cars.
Yeah.
So they would have cars. Okay, so they would pick you up. You all would find somewhere to have sex.
Yes.
But I guess I'm thinking. So you guys, you said abandoned houses.
Abandoned houses on the side of a warehouse, in a tree, in a school,
In a tree?
In a tree.
Y'all climbed up in the tree and had sex.
Me and Mom. Yeah. We had sex in the school yard, like in the grass.
At nighttime.
At nighttime.
So you guys never went to a hotel or got your bed
We went
someplace.
to a hotel, Buckingham Hotel on Broadway.
Okay, check into a
Yeah.
hotel. Okay. How old were you at that point?
I think I was 15.
So you rented a room.
Yeah.
I take it so these guys, okay, so you said that they're bisexual. You don't think they were gay?
I don't think they were gay because if you're gay,
because I have a theory about gay gangsters.
My thing is, I don't think they're gay gangsters either.
Okay, all right.
I think if you're gay, you're completely having sex with one sex. You're not having sex with a woman either.
Okay. Were these gun carrying drug dealers? Were they selling drugs?
Yeah.
Were they carrying guns? Were they shooting people?
Yeah, killers.
Okay,
they're in gangs.
They're gay gangsters. That's my theory. I think a lot of these masculine men who walk around in our black community shooting and harming people are actually homosexuals.
I believe that too. I believe that any man that's sagging their damn pants is gay.
That's something you might write about that you want to show your ass to.
Because ain't no woman looking at your ass.
Hey, well, that's true. Something kind of strange there. So you were dating gay gangsters who were thugs, guns, drugs, Maggie, but they were still teenagers.
They were basically
late teens, early 20s. Yeah. All right. Did any of these guys fight over you?
Nobody fought over me, but I had a fight over one.
But did these other guys know about each other?
Yes. They're all in the same circle. They all knew about each other.
So they knew that all of them knew that they were all having sex with you?
Yes.
Okay. Did they ever discuss this? How did you know they knew?
Well, when one would come and say, well, such and such says you got some bomb head, and it was like, well, damn, I did suck his dick, so they're not lying,
Now, when you look back on this experience, what could you say to a teenager who's watching this today?
Don't do that. Because at the end of the day, these are basically almost adults, so you're being used as a sex object.
So who would they go tell? Who do you recommend that they go seek help from?
If they have the support in their family, from their parents, that's where you start at. If not, it's an aunt or an uncle, an older brother or older sister.
What about the police?
I think first you should tell somebody before you go to the police.
What about community social worker or the health department?
I don't think we do that these days, though. It's a good start, but
because a lot of families didn't have the support of your family.
No, I didn't.
So
I told the teacher.
You told the teacher. So since you did not have the support of your family, I'm sure you're not alone. There are probably a lot of teenagers out who do not have the support of their family. Who do these kids go to if they have no mother or father they can discuss this with?
A teacher.
Go to a teacher at the school.
Yeah.
Principal, teacher, counselor.
Every child is close to somebody within their school. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So a teacher would be the first point of contact.
Do you think these teachers would be able to get them to the help that they need?
Yes. Because they're in a position to teach.
Okay.
So of course they love children.
I do know that there are certain laws in certain states that if the teacher is told certain information, they have to give this information to certain police departments, or it is a law that they cannot keep this a secret. So I do agree with you. Going to a teacher might be best if you cannot go to a family member or a friend or a relative. And you said you had no one to go to.
I had no one to go to. No, and I didn't feel comfortable even talking with people within my family because coming up gay, it was already so strained, and so it just felt like, are they going to help me if my mom can't help me? So,
what is the purpose of these 2 books? Why'd you write them?
The purpose of them first is to release my own demons, because everybody struggles with something. And I got tired of struggling with these secrets, because these are secrets.
Baggage.
These are things that hold you down to where you cannot go forward in life. And I felt like I wanted to release that so I can go forward because I want to be somebody. I've always had dreams and aspirations, and I wanted to live my life. The second reason is because I want to help children. I was not given that help. I wasn't given that love and support. And I do feel that releasing this information can help other children that are walking in my shoes, because this is happening every single day. We live in America. Child trafficking and sex pornography and all that is coming out so much more and more now than it ever has. And by not speaking up, it's only hindering people and it's holding them back and it's allowing these cycles of abuse to keep going. So I feel like that without me speaking up, some of these people will stay trapped. And without me not speaking up, some of these people that did this to me can still do it to other people because they are doing it today.
And do you think that what happened to you has happened to other kids and teenage young men?
Yes. Yes, we see it all the time. I mean, when you're hearing about these people in schools, you know, fighting, why are they fighting? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of anger that's built up in a lot of bullies.
So when you were in school, you were angry. So you were fighting.
Yes, I got expelled from school 8th, 9th.
So there were some behavioral issues that took place because of the sexual relationships you were having.
Yeah.
Did you graduate from high school?
Yes.
Okay, so you did make it through.
Yes.
That's good. So upon graduation, you left Gary.
A year and a half later, I went to school. I went to college for a whole year.
Okay. How has having sex as a teenager affected you as an adult? Has it changed?
It has made me, well, for one, I'm more experienced. You know,
Is that a good experience?
it's
or
a bad experience. I think that's a bad experience. I'm way more experienced, but I know what I want.
Are you able to be sexually satisfied?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes,
like,
but
I've always heard
at
that
the
people,
same time, it affected me because as far as trust,
Okay.
you know, I feel like I've gone through so many men, and I've looked at how it was just about sex. That's it.
Because if you started sex at such an early age, the sex in a relationship does it still mean something important to you?
Yeah.
Is it just
Well, the
sex?
thing is that when I was having sex at an early age, I didn't know why I was having sex. I didn't know the gratifications from it, so
Okay.
I didn't get anything from that.
Okay, so you were just having sex
Just to be having it because I was pleasing somebody else.
Okay, so now you've learned that you like to have sex and be pleased.
Also,
Okay, so you enjoy sex
I
more
love
so
sex.
now. Okay,
yes.
so it hasn't tampered and changed your opinion about sex.
No. As far, I think the only thing that has changed is I don't like feminine men at all. I like hardcore men because that's what I've been used to. So
you more into the thuggish, rough, masculine, masculine, professional type.
yes.
Have you dated any drug dealers in recent years?
No.
Would you date a drug dealer?
No.
Okay,
There's
so
no future.
well, it's true.
I need stability.
I understand that. So I can understand that. So you avoid those types of guys
I've
because you've been there.
done that.
Okay. You're HIV positive.
Yes.
Do you think having sex at such an early age led you down a path that led to you becoming HIV positive?
Yes and no.
Because you didn't use condoms.
No, but I say yes and no because yes, sex leads to more things, you know, in unprotected sex because you've already gone there, so that's what you're used to. But at the same time, no, because I didn't get HIV from being out here having regular sex. I was married to somebody that gave it to me.
Okay, and you guys were not using condoms when you were in that
No.
relationship. So, since you started at an early age, you know, everybody wants to do this raw sex today. You know, your book is The Raw Truth. What are your thoughts, because you were in such an early age having sex, not using condoms, what do you say to people today about condoms, safe sex, protection?
So you love your life. That's it, that's all. Because if you don't love your life, then you're going to have unprotected sex. If you love your life, you won't. You know, you'll strap up. Because you got more than just HIV out here. There's trichomonas, there's gonorrhea. I mean, every little STD you can think about is because you're not strapping up. Wear a condom.
So you would tell anyone to always wear condoms?
Yes.
So even what about the context of a relationship?
Today is like, if you really feel that, I can't even say that. I want to say trust so bad, but look where it got me.
Are you familiar with PrEP and Truvada?
Yes, I just became familiar with that.
Okay, so do you recommend that for someone?
I definitely would.
Okay.
But at the same time, that's just protecting you from HIV.
PrEP and Truvada PrEP is Truvada is a drug that you can take to prevent you from contracting HIV. I actually take Truvada. I'm HIV negative. So I take Truvada. It's supposed to protect you from the event that you came in contact with the HIV virus. Now, taking Truvada doesn't give you, you still have to practice safe sex, you still have to wear condoms, you still have to do everything the correct way. Common sense when having sex and when meeting sexual partners, asking the right questions. Just because you take Truvada, like you said, there are 1,000 other sexually transmitted diseases out there. Your battles with HIV, any health issues, anything? Have you ever had any serious health issues that hospitalized you?
I've never been hospitalized because of my status. I think the only issues that I've ever had was the changes of pills.
Okay,
You know,
medications.
yes, like I started off by taking Sustiva and Truvada.
Okay.
And those two together, it was just like, oh my God, like, you know, so many side effects as far as like night sweats, spinning in the bed, horrible, vivid nightmare memories. That's it, you know. Then switching to a triplet, that drug makes you feel like you want to commit suicide.
But I heard the triplet was pretty bad.
Very bad.
Yeah, I heard it was
Yeah, so now I'm taking Stripold, and I have no side effects, basically.
How long are you on the triplet?
A year.
A year. So that whole year had been horrible.
Hell yeah.
I can imagine
Yeah.
it's pretty bad. So your problems hasn't been more health related, but more the medications and the side effects. So now you're on a good regimen and no side effects. Everything's great. Health is good.
Health is great.
Happily married, single.
Well, we're in
You're
kind
dating?
of. I'm dating. I'm back with number 26. If you don't know who that is, read the book.
Now he's in
How It All
Happened.
Happened. Yes.
Very explicit book.
Yeah, I want to make sure that you know exactly where I'm coming from. You feel what I feel and you see what I see. I'm not trying to leave no stone unturned at all.
I went on a cruise for my birthday back in April, and I took these both books with me. And I read these books on that cruise, and I was just like sitting on the book. The books are very. You gotta read them. These books were. I had to read both books. I read them both again. You know, I read this one before a few years ago. But when I started reading this, I had to go back and read it again. You go back, so you go back and forth and just kind of figure it out. The books are very deep. Where can we find these wonderful books?
They're on Amazon. They're also on my website at www.samuelholloway3.com. Again, that's www.samuelholloway3.com.
Great books, very, very interesting.
Yeah.
What does your mom and your mother, she have read these books?
I know my mother has read the first book, and after the first book, she felt that the book was a bash book about her. So I dedicated my second book to her because, like I said, this book isn't a bash book for my mother. I'm trying to raise awareness for all parents, especially females, to let them know that when your child goes through something like this, it's not your fault. You just missed the signs. That's it. You were naive for some reason. You were naive. You didn't catch it. So my whole thing is to make sure that going forward, other parents can see and learn from my mother's mistakes.
So you give your mother a pass.
I'm letting my mother know that it's not her fault at all.
Okay. So you firmly believe that she plays no responsibility at all in what took place in your life. And I feel different.
I mean,
I have a different opinion.
I definitely understand that, but I think looking back today, like I said, it's just some things that she missed. There probably was some things that she wasn't aware about, or she didn't know how deep that it got.
Where was your father when I was just going to
my real father was with his family.
Do you have any? Is he still alive?
Yes.
Do you have any contact with him at all?
Yes, he's now like my daddy, like the one he was supposed to be back in the day.
So when you were a kid, he was not involved in your life?
No.
Do you hold him responsible for any of this?
I did. And today I don't, because in actuality...
So you're giving him a pass also?
Yeah. In actuality, I feel like...
Well, what is the purpose of parents? If we're going to give them passes for stuff that allow their children to be molested, sexually molested,
I understand,
and raped
but
by sexual predators. When does the parenting skills, when do we wake up and say parents need to be parents and protect their children? Did your mother and father protect you?
No.
Okay. No. You feel comfortable giving them a pass?
Yeah.
All right.
I do. Because for me, I held this in for so long, and
You gotta let it go at some
yeah,
point.
you have to, because I hated my parents, and I look at today, all these people's parents are dying. You know, you only get one parent, so I can't be mad for the rest of my life. So yeah, I'm giving them a pass. I'm letting it go, but I'm trying to alert other people so they don't have to go through the same thing that I went through.
So your father knows about the books.
Yes.
He knows what took place.
Yes.
What did he say?
He was hurt. He cried. He felt bad. You know, he felt like he should have been there. He should have done more. But he wasn't. So, I mean, you can't cry with spilled milk. You can only go forward and make sure that this doesn't happen to somebody else's child.
And you know, a lot of black folks seem to think this mess only happened in white folks' households.
And a lot of black folks feel like this didn't happen at all.
Which is true. A lot of black folks want to ignore this. It's strange.
It's so naive. You know, like they're just delusional. They're blind to the fact, dumb, ignorant, stupid. Because it's like, how can you say something didn't happen when, one, he wasn't there?
So you've had people accuse you of saying that this is false.
Yeah, a lot of people have accused me of saying this is false. And like I say today, December 27th, this year will be 4 years and still no lawsuit. So
Why would anyone think that you would make all this up?
your guess is as good as mine. But I
Is
mean,
this
I
black
feel
folks
like
being ignorant?
black folks being dumb. It's not even ignorant.
It's how it all happened, the raw truth, in eyes without a face. Well, I appreciate you having me here to discuss these books.
Thank you.
I mean, they're phenomenal books. I think people will learn a lot from this about sexual molestation, children dealing with sexual molestation and sexual predators. A very important part of our life, our journey in life.
Yes.
So I appreciate having you today.
Thank you.
And thank you. Anyway, that's it. I'm out of here.